What's going on, good people? Journey Meta, aka the People's Choice, aka I don't know, but it's a lot of AKAs underneath that. But seeing what's up to everyone, we're here today on Vibe Stream Beats Live. Trey is traveling right now in transition, so it'll just be me today. I'm gonna be talking about some music stuff, cooking up beats, of course, as we usually do, and seeing where things go with that. So, we're gonna just do this show as if it was a crowd around us, and just have fun. I mean, everything is about having fun, and everything is about really, really getting to the core, which is a silver lining of why we're really doing this. And I'll tell you, Vibe Stream Beats exist, and this is going back to the origin, the beginning. Um, it existed because there's a lot of rules and regulation that changed over the pandemic for content that was registered with the conglomerates. If you do like a DistroKid or something like that, it goes to all the platforms, and platforms like Deezer, iTunes, and Spotify, and Tidal, and Pandora, and the list just goes on and on. But your content gets registered in those systems, so your content gets an ID at that point, and then that ID is tracking how many times it's being streamed and so on and so forth. So algorithms don't recognize when you're streaming your own content if it's you or if it's someone else. So, they'll immediately say register content, and then they'll shut down your account, not permanently, but from streaming. Or if you're on Twitch, you'll get a block or something like that. So um, Live Stream Beats was started as a problem solver to basically get to a point where we are making the stuff that we're streaming so no one can like mess with us. So it's went on, and now we got the catalog of stuff, not only including the work that I was doing before, but the work that Trey and I has done over these 2 years. So it's just developed into this snowball effect of solving a problem. So we're going to keep going with that. I know music is in a crazy disposition right now, but creativity is not. So um, that's what makes it exciting for us. So without further ado, don't want to get all deep into the philosophicals, but I do want to start cooking up something. So let me bring up the old trusty DAW, which the weapon of choice. I don't know what you guys are using, but the weapon of choice is drum roll, please. Hold on, I don't have a drum roll here, but drum roll, please. It is Serato Studio. So using Serato Studio, use some of everything. Started on the MPC 2000, and then kind of elevated on to other sort of computer-based programs, which I guess the first computer-based program was Reason, and got off into Reason. I was on Reason for a very, very long time, but the only problem with the early Reason, if you use Reason, if you're ever a Reason user, it didn't sound like the records that were on the radio. Like the sounds were thin. They were kind of like, you know, the bass lines and the kicks and snares was just kind of like it was computer music. So I would listen to the radio and like, damn, and then listen to my track. I'm like, ooh, how do I get my shit to sound like that? And that brought me back to the MPC. Shout out to all the MPC users. You may not have started on an MPC. I mean, there's so many ways to do things, but I went back to the MPC, and that was around the time that the Renaissance had came out. And the MPC Renaissance it was computer based with hardware. And that was really, really cool because it did a little bit more, a lot more. Let me just say this, a lot more than the actual machine. And it was made from the actual functionalities of the machine, but you know, computer based took you a little bit deeper. So you had to have a laptop and you had to have the controller, which was the hardware, the MPC Renaissance. So I was on that for a very, very long time. And what I mean by very, very long time, like 3 to 4 years, I was toying around with the MPC Renaissance. And then the MPC Studio came out. I'll show you guys. The MPC Studio came out, and this is traveling around and so on and so forth. You cannot carry an MPC Renaissance around with you. So the little brother of this was the travel pack, and this was this thing here. Yes, 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 yes. And this is the MPC Black. I think this is like the last one that they bought out, but it has everything that an MPC has. You know, the knob, the jog wheel, and everything like that. I don't know if you guys can see this, but I'm just putting it up in front of the camera. Has a 16 pads. Um, Pads are soft and everything like that. You can like move around, and it plugs right into the Renaissance hardware, and you can do everything. You know, I would pop this on a plane, make a few beats. You know, traveling from like east to west coast, and it was dope. And to a point where I never used, I never went back to my my MPC Renaissance. I was like, shit, if I can make music on the fly and I'm always on the fly, then I need to do what suits me on the fly. So it was all about the MPC Studio for a very, very long time. Up until I got a call from my man Tony over at Serato. It's when Tony, he was working for Guitar Center, and Tony left Guitar Center to work with Serato, and he called me. He's like, "Hey, man, I know you're always testing new things, but I want you to test out this program. It's called Serato Studio. I want you to come on board and be a UX for it." And I'm like, "All right, cool, man. I'm always down. Serato has always done dope stuff." And I was at the early table with Serato and the transition, Time Code Records, and so on. So I'm like, I support it. Dope. And I also knew the engine that always ran Serato products, which was Pitch and Time, which still is Pitch and Time. Pitch and Time is so dope. Pitch and Time allows you to dump in any audio, and Pitch and Time will sync your work to any audio. So my master audio would be, say, for instance, let's go into something. Master audio sound would be this. So and that's reading at like 108 BPM C minor. So what I would do, let's dump this down to the actual original. So we're gonna just make track and show you how this program works. Okay, so that's 108. So I'm gonna deliberately go and grab something. Here's my BPMs. That's 108. The master's 108. So I'm gonna deliberately go here and find a melody that's a different BPM, and then I'm gonna dump it over to the drop sample here, and it's going to lock in to whatever BPM that is. And the master BPM is 108 and C minor. So let's grab it. I like this chill. So, all right, we'll do a quick chop here. As you can see, it locks right in to the drum that I threw in. So having this is it's kind of like getting to the idea. You really don't have to think about the matrix of the program or anything like that. You can kind of go, jump in, do your work. And I'm always looking for tools that can help me get to the work, help me get to the finished product. And that's, being a DJ and a producer has more patience, like a real producer that came in through the door of learning how to play music and so on and so forth, learning keys and chords and all that stuff like that. They have a little bit more patience with music. Me personally, I don't, because I got into production from DJing, and it's hard. It's hard not starting with a finished product. You know what I mean? Like, DJs, look at it this way: DJs always get finished records, mixed, mastered, ready for the market records. And that's what, if it's not that, then we're not playing it. So we're used to getting finished music. So coming in from a finished product mindset and going in production, you're mixing as you go, you're doing all these things to get to the meat of it, which is finishing the arrangement, finishing everything to play it. So a lot of stuff you hear between Trey and I, we're trying to get to the aspect of playing the music. It's like, wow, this sounds dope enough to play. All right, keep it moving. So this program actually helps get to that finished result. So um, usually the beats, if you tuned in, the beats that are from the show, they're finished. I mean, we'll go back and do some arrangement stuff, because usually the arrangements is all over the place, because usually after you guys name it, it's a concept at that point. It's a dope concept, couple different scenes and everything like that, maybe intro, outro, or something like that. But it's not fully arranged. And what I mean by arrangements, especially to the way that we've been working, I kind of go with a pop arrangement, you know, and learn that from doing research with the um, the Sharon Group, which Sharon Groups is Swedish, guys. I mean, if you do some research on the Swedes, they are very dope songwriters. They're very dope songwriters. And you may hate me for this, but you may love me for telling you this. But Sharon Group first came out in the early 90s, writing for Backstreet Boys, Britney Spears, and so on and so forth. They were doing super pop American music, but they were in Sweden. It's the craziest thing ever. When I found that out, I was like, what? Britney Spears songs was written by Swedish? Oh, okay. Wow. Now, back then, everybody was feeling a little Britney. Everybody was feeling some Backstreet Boys. Now I'm like aging myself, but still, we were into that stuff. Even if we didn't admit it, hip hop was doing well, but we were very much so into that. But what I was into as a musical scientist was like, damn, these arrangements are crazy. They'll come in with the 4-bar intro, and then they'll do an 8-bar hook, no, an 8-bar verse, and then they'll get to the chorus, like a pre-chorus, and then they'll go into the chorus. And by that time, it was like 40 seconds. It was like 40 seconds. So a lot was happening within that 40 seconds. It was almost like psychology being done because you get this intro. You are a piece of me, and it's building up, and then the hook comes in. I'm like, yo, wow, like negate that it's pop, negate all other misconceptions of like, oh, that's corny. The arrangements, on the other hand, and I say that in my high pitched voice, the arrangements, on the other hand, was crazy. So, I mean, paying attention to that is kind of the formula of our music. You know, a lot of what we do, knowing and not knowing, it's based upon those formulas. Now, that doesn't mean, we lock into any other sound waves and it's sound colors. We don't lock into that type of stuff, but we do lock into some sort of formula because music, whether we want to admit it or not, music is formulaic. We want to hear something that's familiar, and familiar doesn't have to be in like trap, 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 or pop, 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 pop. It can be in formatting. It could be in expectations of that intro, expectations of that that first verse being 8 bars, expectations of some sort of pre-chorus build up into the hook part. So that part we don't want to play with. We want to give that because that's the candy and the sugar people are used to having, but the ingredients of that, could be anything. It could be, throw some raisins in there, throw a little cinnamon in there, throw some spice in there, and it's like, oh man, what is this? Man, looks like a cookie, but man, it's a little bit more groovier. You know, it's a cookie cake or something. But I'm just using food terms and everything like that, but it's real. And all of that was shaped by the way that the Swedes were doing it, man. And it's going to be around for a long time. And they like if you're from the West Coast, LA area, or something like that, they're sprinkled out LA throughout LA, and they run the publishing game. These guys are writing for some of your favorite artists and behind the productions and arrangements of some of your favorite artists. So yeah, this is just a little tidbit. So anyway, let's get to some cooking. I'm gonna do this for like another 30 minutes or so. So let's see what we can get out of this 30 or 40, maybe 40. So I'm gonna break this down. So I'm feeling like 92. It's like a sweet spot. play a kick in there. Just give it a little bit more. Boop, 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 boop. Support snare. Before we put in there, put in a hat. Three, four. Good. All right, now we're getting the formula here. Looking for some snares. Usually layer my snares. And as you can see, that drum loop from earlier is now sitting under a group of drums. More of a live drum. Little filter. Need something else in there. Let's look for that something else. Oh, here we go. Here we go. All right. Filter. Need some bass. Make sure this goes all the way to the end. And shout out to all the producers out there that have awesome toolboxes. I have an awesome toolbox in this program, and these are all my sounds. I own them, so
Evacuate.
Crazy.
Evacuate.
It sets up a format on how Trey and I work with other producers and musicians. They have their own toolbox, and when you start to share your tools with other arrangers and producers and composers, they get a chance to like collaborate. But it goes down. It comes down to the organization of your toolbox. So yeah, shout out to everyone that really organize their tools in a way, because it leaves room for that collaboration to happen. You know what you can add to something, because that's what you're doing when you're producing alone, in situations. So now I can put an atmospheric sound on that, kind of widen up the perspective sonically. I'm already thinking some live bass. Boo, 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 doo, doo, boo, boo, doo, doo. Okay, so up the volume on this bass. Okay, let's use. That is scale. Okay, let's take that out 8. Let's get rid of some of this atmosphere. Open hat. Top line lead. Uh-huh. 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 All right, let's go with that. It's pan. Sounds good. Trying to look for some vocal now to just throw. that sounds sick. It's like spaced out. Let's do that over again. Okay. So let's go here. All right. So let me go into what I was talking about with the arrangement. So I'll set everything up to explain what, where, when, how, and why. All right. So this is the intro. Scene 2 would be the 8-bar verse. And then scene 3, I did as a 8. Actually, hold on. Scene 2 is 4-bar. And then scene 3 is 8-bar. And then we have the pre-chorus, and then we have the hook or the chorus, as you say, as they say. So let's start with the intro. So the intro would be 4 bars. So let's get rid of a lot of what's going on. And we're going to let some of these instruments shine. No drums. Remember that? So we can go with a lead in. Filter. Cool. It's like a mess up. Right. Let's get rid of those vocals. So on the first, I'm going to the second scene here, which would be a 4-bar intro, and then a 4-bar verse. So I'm getting rid of the bass and the chorus sound. So. Okay, so as you can see, the switch. So I could show you in sound form. I'm going to talk it through, but I'm getting rid of a lot of what's going on in the track to create a sound bed, a soundtrack to tell a story. Get rid of the bass. Let's do something different. The drums, 2, 3, 4. Okay, this is the arrangement, and I'll talk this through here. 2, 3. And there. Okay, from the top, and this is the way that the Swedes did it in their song form that hooked America. And I'm just stealing that and duplicate it. Here we go for the tops. Intro. First one. To 8. "30 seconds." 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. Pre-chorus, 40 seconds. So you see what I'm talking about. So these sections actually matter. It's a few things that change within these sections, and this is what they kind of mastered with the way that they were thinking. So I can brighten these up a little bit by putting some familiar things in there. Like I was thinking an uplift on the pre-chorus section. All right, turn that down. And we'll also put a crash in there to kind of differentiate different sections. Crash. Crash on all the sections except the intro. And of course here and in the middle. You can do something. Okay, we'll put a low pass on that. Bring it alive. All right, let's listen back one more time. This is what we have as far as the arrangement. And then what we'll do is just swing everything that happened within the first minute to the second side. And We can throw bridges on there and stuff like that if you want to get complicated. But I mean, at the end of this arrangement, I mean, you're only going to get 2 minutes and 20 seconds of a song. So a lot needs to happen between then. But once you get the meat of it, it becomes clear like what's next and what to do. But you still want to bring in some surprises. Like the surprise within this arrangement is that, I started off with that first kind of keys and chords and stuff like that. This here piece. And it goes into something different. Lift, right. Guitar. Always listening. I could turn down the bass a little bit. Back into the second. Get the point, pink, control, pink, get it, get it, up. So I'm not going to even play this all through, but you guys get the picture on how it kind of frames itself out. You start with the nucleus, which is the core pieces, and then you kind of make them into its own little thing, but it supports this, the core. And the supporting pieces are things that you can call the different parts of the arrangement, like and him and him. So there you have it. One beat. Save. What do we call this? Sweet structure. Sweet. Me. Score 92 and C. All right, cool. So this is basically done, and this is where the DJ cap comes in, where this is ready. Like I would DJ with this as it is, as it stand. I can also like go in if the track is sounding too low. Serato has a mastering system that's in here. So that's why it sounds just raw, and I can put a limiter on it to beef it up a little bit, brighten it up a little bit. Beats are good to go, cooked and ready to play. All right. So since I am what you call a completist, let me go into just dumping the track down to export. And we do a set in One Wallet Discord So a lot of the stuff you'll be hearing within those DJ sets. We'll try to do more in the future, but right now we're just mainly focused on collaboration, and that's what One Wallet right now, and get more gamers to know about the product and the problem that we're solving here, which is the DMCA Copyright Act. So, want to learn more? Hit us up. But it's really, really simple as I'm telling it to you. Ready to play music everywhere on all platforms, solving the DMCA problem. Let's go for something quick. I know I plan on just going for this hour, but I did get lengthy in my talk. So let's see what we can do real fast, just on the fly without even explaining what's going on. Okay, new. Let's do some hype, That was our smooth bag. Let's do something really hype. All right. Please. And I may start off with a drum loop or something. Okay. A while I was on bass kick, so I need more like alternative, and that this drum and bass lands around 85 BPM, but it's double time, so it lands about 170. But I can always switch that on or off. Show you. All right, here we go. Shoot, here you go. So let's take that and I'll show you the breakdown. Like I can come in with a different sort of like drum feel. Hold on, listen to this. I'll do something. Okay. All right, that's kind of the meat of the track. Okay. Real quick arrangement because we don't want too much going on in this. Real quick. Okay. Let's take and let's do a halftime. Halftime. Do I have loops in here? Yeah, I do. Drums, please. Get to an end result that's playable. Like, that's really, really dope. Not overthinking. Wait. Maybe not for that. You turn that up just a little bit to get to a narrative, you know? Like, don't bore us. Get to it. So all right. So let's go for a quick arrangement and let's let the music speak for itself. So, actually, let's bring this down to 40. That and this intro. Oh, that's what's taking up the most space. This intro, and then. All right, here we go. From the top. Go right into it. There too. Breakdown. Bring it back in. And I could get really, really crazy on that hook because you want to get crazy. Hold on. And then we're done. We're done. We're wrapped. So, scratch tools. Finally, fantasy scratch tools. Okay.
Give me that. Give me that. Give me that.
The man we captured has a...
Give me that style, yeah. Give me that style, yeah. Give me that style.
Shout out to all my UK friends. Let's see. Let's go.
Give me that. Give me that. Give me that style, yeah. Give me that. Give me that style, yeah. 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 Give me that style, yeah.
Okay, there it is. All right.
Give me that style, yeah.
Here we go.
Give me that style, yeah. 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 Give me that style, yeah.
Okay, from the top here.
Give me that style, yeah. 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 Give me that style, yeah.
I'm gonna take something out. Maybe that bass line, turn it down a little bit, take it out. Okay.
Give me that style, yeah. 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 Give me that style, yeah.
Oh, sheesh. Start from there.
Give me that style, yeah. 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 Give me that style, yeah.
All right. Hey, I want to thank you guys for joining us on both sides of the spectrum. Got some education today, on how it really happens. And once you get structure, you can really, really get to a sonic narrative really, really quick. So that's the point. We want to get to a sonic narrative that we can give to an artist or that we can play and so on and so forth. So, I invite you to adopt the ways, combine styles. You may like the way that another producer does something. You may like the way that Trey and I thinks about things. But most importantly is that you're looking more at structural standpoints if you're a producer, and from a listening standpoint, something that sonically sounds great to the ears or viable to the ears. And usually what sounds viable to the ears is a formula or format that you've probably heard before. So that's the kind of sort of approach that I take towards getting to that sonic story, if you will. So without further ado, we bid you adieu. All right, VSN, Vibe Stream Network, Vibe Stream Beats. Thanks for tuning in. Trey, if you're listening in, drive safe. All right, you guys, peace, and take care.